Hey everyone, you are tuning in to the America's Got Talent After Show Season 11, Episode 6. We will be breaking down all the acts tonight, and we have a very special guest, my favorite act from last week. Sofie Dossi's here. Join us.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the America's Got Talent Season 11, Episode 6 After Show. I am your host, and my name is Dani. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Dani Golub. We have a very, very special guest tonight. The amazing, beautiful, talented, hand-balancing, acrobatic, our in-house Katniss Everdeen, Sofie Dossi. Where can they find you? On Twitter and Instagram.
Sofie Dossi.
At Sofie Dossi. With an F. S-O-F-I-E. That is very important. And my other co-hosts, panelists tonight, we have Megan and Madison. Where can they find y'all?
You can find me on Twitter and Facebook at Megan Boykoff.
And you can find me on Twitter at Madison Cramer TV.
So, as I said, we have Sofie in-house tonight. For all those of you who do not recall, which would be ridiculous, but in case you don't, Sofie was on America's Got Talent last week. She got 4 yeses, very deservingly. Probably could have deserved a golden buzzer, but as we mentioned, that means we get to see more of her, which makes me very happy. So Sofie, as I said before, is a hand balancer, acrobat. You have contortion, you have...
Gymnast
fire.
might be thrown in there.
Gymnast,
right?
dancer,
Archery, some archery.
Also a little comedy. She gave us some little apple.
Yes.
So we have a little bit of everything in this one. My first question for you is kind of how you discovered these talents and abilities of yours, because on your Instagram page, which by the way, if you haven't checked it out yet, you should definitely check it out, at Sofie Dossi, is growing by the moment. I don't even want to say how many thousands of followers she has, because every time I look, there's more. But it said on her Instagram in her bio that she is self-taught. So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, actually, when I first found out about this, I was just searching on YouTube, and I was just searching randomly on YouTube, and I stumbled upon these contortion videos, and I was like, hey, this is really cool. I want to try this. And I tried it, and I found out, hey, I can actually do this stuff. And
Did it hurt?
No, it didn't hurt, actually.
Because if I tried to do that, because I watched your video and I was like, hey, I could try that. Not exactly the same experience.
Yeah. Well, my back has always been really naturally flexible.
Okay.
When I was really little, I would just do back bends around the house, and I did
Same.
gymnastics and dance, which gave me that background. And when I tried it, I just fell in love with it.
Yeah, it's amazing. Do you practice at home, or do you have a studio? I know that you mentioned on America's Got Talent that your dad helps you make a lot of the different props that you use. The toilet paper holder was used for the apple, and you said he also makes the things that you use for hand balancing.
Yeah, he makes the canes.
So does a lot of the practicing happen at home, or does it happen in some sort of studio where you do this with other people, or?
It's at home. My home is pretty much a big, giant gym.
What a blast.
That is kind of fun.
Yeah.
I have a question. So before you go on stage, first of all, what is going through your head specifically for America's Got Talent before you went out there? And also, is there anything specific you do before you perform?
Well, when I first got out, before I got out there, in my head I was kind of like, I better not mess up.
No pressure.
Because I only had like a week of practice. So.
Yeah, you said
insane.
that.
Crazy.
So you've only been practicing that routine for a week. So does that mean you had never tried some of those things before, or just not all together? Or?
No, I hadn't created that move, that routine in a week.
Wow.
So.
Wow.
That is really nuts. And is there some sort of like ritual that you do before? You know how you said you kind of like have this internal dialogue, but is there a specific warm-up that you do every time, or something like that?
Well, my kind of warm-up is after I warm my back and legs, I have to be alone, and I'll completely take everything out of my mind, and I'll calm my heartbeat by breathing really deeply and just relax.
Centering yourself,
Yeah.
focusing. Nice.
Now, Dani mentioned, like she said, that it hurt her. It hurt me while I was watching. It was incredible, though. But have you ever injured yourself or anyone else while you were doing it?
I have never, and I'm not planning on it.
That's a good thing. Keep that going.
I think that means that you're good at what you do, though.
Exactly,
You know,
yeah.
I think that definitely is telling. I mean, your body control and, strength is very evident when we watch. Side note, do any of your friends do this with you? And if they don't, what do they think? Because this is pretty incredible stuff. This isn't just like, I'm a dancer or I'm a gymnast. This is extreme talent on a whole different level than just like being a good dancer, which a lot of kids are,
Yeah. Most of my friends are like gymnasts and dancers.
Okay.
And when they see me do this stuff, they just think I'm crazy.
Really? Okay.
The
But they
coolest
love me
crazy.
anyways.
Probably, yeah, the best kind of crazy.
The way
too.
Simon thought you were crazy. From
Yeah.
another planet. Like the best planet.
Yeah, I
from
want to be
another
from that
planet,
planet.
Yeah, for real.
Do you hope to kind of pursue this as your career? Being, you know, I know that this is, you're young, you're really young, you're a teenager, but do you kind of see yourself doing this for the rest of your life now that you found, I mean, it's amazing to find something that you're so passionate about at such a young age. I still don't even know what I want to do, and I'm in my 20s, so how do you kind of see yourself doing this long term?
Yeah, I love this, and I can totally see myself just doing this for a really long time.
That's incredible.
It's amazing. So from all of this kind of new attention that you're getting, like I said, her Instagram is blowing up, literally. Like the YouTube video has millions of views on America's Got Talent.
I saw a ton of Facebook friends sharing it. You know,
Yeah, me
people
too.
who don't know that I'm involved in this whole thing, you know, just seeing normal people find it interesting. Does that make sense? You
Yeah,
know, because
there's
I'm
a-
particularly interested.
I mean, she's been everywhere. There's BuzzFeed articles, and not only has she been doing America's Got Talent, but you were also on Casey Undercover, which is, I think, coming up on Disney this fall. But how does all of this kind of feel? Is it overwhelming, exciting, or...
It's just so cool right now. Like, there's like not even words to describe it. It's just so much going on, and it's pretty crazy and awesome.
Has anyone noticed you yet? Just like walking down the street, like, I saw you.
Yeah, I
No
got a few
way.
people like stop me and go like, "Oh, I really want to take a picture with you. You're so awesome."
Was that the weirdest thing in the world? Like
It's-
me, you want to take a picture with me?
Yeah, it's really cool. You kind of feel like, oh, like it's just
Like a
so cool.
celebrity.
Yeah.
Has
You
there-
are. You are a
Yeah, you are. To me, at least. What's your favorite thing you've gotten to do because of this? You know, you've gotten some new doors opened, I'm sure, because of this experience, and you get to perform in front of, like, last week when you performed on TV, there was 11.2 million viewers. So has there been anything crazy cool that you've gotten to do that you think wouldn't have happened without this experience?
Well, this of course.
AfterBuzz.
Boom. Well done.
Yeah, that is, hey, AfterBuzz is pretty fun. Are you nervous for anything coming up? I know that there's like new episodes coming up, and there actually might be a special tomorrow. We just found out that with the best of the auditions, so we're hoping to see some Sofie on that.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
That'd be very cool. But is there any like big thing you're really looking forward to, whether that be America's Got Talent related or not, coming up in your personal career?
I think the biggest thing right now is just be able to perform in front of a bunch of people and make them smile.
Yeah, that was really sweet.
What's your favorite part of all of it?
My favorite part is just to see the audience's reactions and just really to see people smile watching me.
You kind of like feed off that energy.
Yeah.
You could tell your stage presence was incredible.
Yes.
Amazing.
The
So-
faces, the
Yeah,
charisma,
it was
it's
also
fantastic.
perfect. Yeah, you could tell.
Really, like a real performance. You know, not just, oh my gosh, she can do these amazing skills and talents with her body, but like the face was there. It was really like a story.
I think
Thank you.
I think Mel said it. Like she's like a seasoned professional.
Yeah.
It's not just
seemed like it.
we talk a lot on this show on AfterBuzz in terms of America's Got Talent about kid acts and young performers coming on, and can you compare them to an adult doing the exact same thing? And let's just say you
you.
slayed it
Yeah.
better than all the other adults that are contortionists on this show. I will say that myself. You don't have to say that. I also saw on your Instagram that you performed like at Venice Beach and stuff. Do you ever just go down there? You were doing some crazy tricks.
Oh yeah. I go down there with just a bunch of people,
Like friends and-
friends, and we just hang out and do these crazy tricks and hand balancing. It's actually where the original Muscle Beach is.
Oh yeah.
And we kind of keep in the Muscle Beach there.
Yeah,
And
I imagine
She
you guys
has some
draw a
serious
crowd.
muscles. You can't quite see them, but I don't know. I think we're pulling up some photos of Sofie now. Look at that. That is
insane.
insane. I mean, that is some serious talent. Like, with sitting right next to you, I can't just... that's two different people to me. You know, it's amazing that your strength and body control and poise and everything, it's incredible.
Where do you get the strength? Do you like weight lift or it's just
Her body weight is being lifted, but
like
yeah, really.
yeah, you do that.
I
yeah, that's the
actually
flexible back we were talking about.
yeah. I just my hand balancing basically
Does it all
Does it
himself.
all.
That's awesome.
And there is
So
the
cool.
bow and arrow that we were talking about before. So let's talk a little bit about that. How did you pick that up? That we talk about that a lot too. Like
Yeah.
these are things that you discovered. So you discovered that you were able to do contortion. You knew you had a flexible back. How does one
Like, I'm gonna pick this bow and arrow up and shoot something with it. This is a great idea.
Actually, what gave me the inspiration was I actually saw this really old picture of this Mongolian. She had like a bow and arrow on her foot and she was arched over. And I was like, hey, this is really cool. Like, I want to try this. So my dad and I went to the store and got this cheapy bow and arrow.
That doesn't look so cheapy. That's the real deal. Started off small.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
And I started practicing it, and I got it down within a month.
Oh my god.
So did you
Good for
admit, you like, I mean, when we saw you do it on the show, you got a bullseye. How long did it take you to learn to get the bullseye? Because just getting up there and getting that position seems difficult. But like,
Then
actually
to
being
aim.
able to get it and aim and...
To be able to, like, figure it out and, like, know exactly, like, where you're going to aim, because it's not like you're normally, like, shooting with your hands, of course.
I can't even make a
Because
bullseye.
your
Can you make a
feet
bullseye
are,
with
like...
your hand?
I'm actually a little bit better with my feet. But it's you kind of get the the eye coordination, because it's not exactly like shooting a bow and arrow with your hands where you can like see the hole and like know where to shoot,
it's a little
because
above
it's
your
like
head.
right above your
Yeah.
head. So I kind of figured that out after about like 3 months, and I started realizing like, oh, the angles and those things.
It's crazy.
Smart.
It's insane.
Really crazy. So aside, I mean, we also, saw a lot. We saw a lot of different tricks that you did. We saw hand balancing, we saw contortion, we saw the bow and arrow.
Apple eating.
We saw apple eating, which was adorable. With your feet, I can barely like even eat nicely with my hands.
You miss
so-
your mouth every
Seriously,
time.
I'm really talking myself down tonight, but I'm next to such a queen that like. Do you have any sort of not spoilers, but like hints and tricks? Because I do follow you on Instagram, so I have seen some of the other cool stuff you can do. But is there anything you can kind of tease for us at what we can see on America's Got Talent? I know there was some promo stuff, but anything?
Let's just say I'm gonna be hanging around.
Oh, that's such a good clue.
Interesting.
Okay, yay.
Interesting. So we'll be seeing more danger from you, I presume.
Yes.
And do you ever get scared trying these things for the first time? Because I know, I mean, as much as you practice and get really good at them, but the first time you do them, is it ever like, do you kind of heart skip a beat, or you have a weird feeling in your stomach?
Well, I'm a daredevil myself,
Okay.
so I'm just doing crazy things. Depending on the crazy move, like, I'll sometimes, like, you kind of just gotta go for it, and once you just go for it, then...
And is someone spotting you? I'm trying to envision what this is like with, like, your parents at home. Like, I'm about to try this crazy thing I saw on the internet. Like,
Well, normally we have a lot of mats at my home,
Okay,
so we'll like
good.
just put a bunch down there, and I know how to. I had that gymnastics background, so I
Right.
know how to fall and
Okay.
that kind of stuff.
well, that's good to know. I mean,
That's reassuring.
yeah, that's really reassuring. So I think we kind of covered a lot of everything that you've done so far up until this season. Besides for America's Got Talent, I know we touched on this, but do you have anything else that you do? Like, do you do any other performances? I don't know necessarily if you're allowed right now with being on the show, but do you perform like outside in different venues and stuff? I know I've seen some stuff like with Disney Channel, but do you ever like do paid performances where we can go see you?
I've actually done the Grammys after party.
Whoa, girl!
Yeah,
Oh
this
my God.
thing called Bring Back Broadway at the Orpheum Theater, and just different corporate events and
Cool.
a bunch of others.
Awesome. Good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hire her.
If I ever get married one day,
Yes,
I'll have
right?
some cool hand balancing. That'd be really neat. And then you also, do you still do dance and gymnastics at all, or do you kind of stick to the hand balancing and contortion now that you've discovered that?
I kind of just stick to the hand balancing contortion now.
Got it. Okay, very cool. Well, Sofie is going to be sticking with us while we dive through these acts from tonight's episode. She actually knows a lot of them, so we're going to have some insight because she was at the auditions with a lot of them. Like we said last time, they kind of cut around a little bit. Madison saw an act that she didn't really see.
Yeah.
So we're going to dive right into this because we have a lot to talk about for tonight. Let's jump into the first few acts we saw. We saw a lot of older people tonight do it. We've seen a lot of
Yeah.
young people up until this point, Sofie being one of them. But tonight I feel like we got to see a lot of the older people. Starting the night off right away with Jackie Lee doing the handstands. the 83-year-old. She just brought it. There was like a long montage in the beginning of kind of like funky, quirky. There was the woman who was the bottom reader who read Nick's booty, read his booty.
Hilarious.
By the way, Nick is super skinny.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that he had little chicken legs. So cute. But then we kind of get up to Cody Carter, the
Twirler.
14-year-old twirler. Which, did you meet him?
Yeah, I met him backstage. Yeah,
He
was
seems
really
great.
Nice.
He seems great, and that was really cool. I haven't seen someone do that like that well, probably ever.
Yeah, he's a crazy baton twirler.
Yeah,
I mean, he
has
hardly
three.
touched them with his hands. I mean, most of the
Yeah.
He
performance
just kept
was like,
adding them, yeah.
it was just like defying
Like
gravity,
doing it with
hitting
his
them,
elbows
with his
and
elbows.
just,
It was
like,
pretty
twirling
crazy.
it.
Yeah, he was so peppy the whole time. Like, you could tell he was just enjoying it, which
He
I
could-
love in a performance.
Yeah, he could totally do Cirque du Soleil. You know,
Yeah,
he said that's
yeah,
his dream.
yeah.
I'm like, you
I
go
could
do
see
it, boy.
that.
I feel like they're gonna all be in one crazy cool circus together one day that I'm gonna have to pay a lot of money
Well,
to
I'll
go.
just create
So worth
one
it.
giant.
Yes, there you
circus
go.
Great networking opportunity for cool young
For real.
acrobats. Yeah, so he got 4 yeses. He did 3 batons at one point, which was crazy, and his outfit was adorable. The whole thing I really loved. He was kind of the full package. And then we moved on to Just Us, the jazz singing vocal quartet that sang all about that bass. I'm pretty sure they just used them to kind of move into the next group, which also sang all about that bass, named Alon and Josh, who were these like really adorable Orthodox Jewish.
We us on the panel. I'm not sure about you, but us three are part of the tribe.
Mazel tov.
So I liked the little mazel tov they had there.
So cute.
And yeah, so they did some crazy beatboxing.
They got increasingly impressive as the
Yeah.
performance went on.
What'd you think, Sophie?
Yeah, I like that beatboxing. That was really cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was very neat. I haven't seen much like that, at least not this season. So I was pretty
Yeah.
excited to see that. It was fun, and they got yeses, and we'll see them again. Then we see a bunch of different dancing groups. We saw some girls in tuxedos, some people in kimonos, and I think Heidi was impressed with all of them, and Simon was just not having it. He wasn't there.
I think they switched back and forth, did they not? Like,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
ones that Simon hated, Heidi loved, and vice versa.
I feel like it's really hard to impress all of them at once. You know,
Yeah.
it really is. So getting 4 yeses,
Props.
she did it, but getting 4 yeses sometimes is difficult. I think we saw a lot of 4 yeses in the last weeks, but this week's we didn't see.
Yeah,
as
you're
many.
right.
Yeah.
We saw some
Dwindled.
more like 3s and even a 2 and then turned into a 3. So, but this brings us to Outlaws, the 5 dancers, which they did to dance to Lean On, like a remix, and they were really good. They got 3 yeses, but Heidi gave them a no. What'd you guys think?
I love them. I wasn't expecting that to come out of them at
Right.
all. I was like, I hope they're good, but I don't know. I loved it.
When they walked out in vans, I was like, you're gonna dance in vans. And then, of course, you know, throughout the package beforehand, you see the interview, and I'm like, okay, well, they have the lady vote because they're adorable.
Yeah,
and I
so
just
cute.
love that they were like, we're just gonna dance, and we're gonna try to dance. And they did it really well. And there was one of the guys, who just looked so proud of himself the whole performance. It was very cute. I was like, this guy is so into himself. But it was great. He was like,
beaming.
we're doing it.
Yeah,
they were fun.
I thought their teen was very different. Like I haven't seen dancing like that.
Yeah, you're a dancer too, so you can give some legitimate input, unlike us, because we're not dancers.
no clue.
but yeah, the music was good, the dancing was fun. They were just a bunch of friends who have a talent that they can do together.
They're not a Vegas show, but they were very cute.
Right. Yeah, we do talk about that. Like, to be a Vegas show, you have to have something big. You have to fill a stage. You have to have that wow factor. Do I think they have that? Not necessarily. I think dance groups sometimes have a harder time. We were talking about Acro Army before the show from 2014. They filled a stage. You know what I mean? They were dancers, but
crazy,
they had a lot of different kinds of elements. Unfortunately, the Outlaws were kind of like just hip-hop dancers. They were very cool.
With hats.
Would I pay to see them? I don't know. You know? I don't know if I would pay to see that.
I wouldn't.
Would I watch it again? Yes.
Yes.
Watch it
Kinda
for
harsh.
Free, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think that's the fine line we have there. But
The lady vote will push them forward a
they
while.
will.
I assume.
They will. They're the One Direction of dancing.
Yes. Oh, there you go. That's
They
it.
really are. Simon, that's why
it.
Simon liked them. So then that brings us to the 17-year-old singer. He's very polite. I believe he said he was from Tennessee. His name is Daniel. Very bluesy, Michael Bublé, Frank Sinatra. We kind of Megan's our resident singing consultant. What did you think?
I thought his tone was really beautiful. The vibrato was very nice. And despite what the judges said about him being stiff on stage, apparently, I was impressed that such a young performer was able to move around so comfortably. He, like dipped the mic stand. He was really moving, and that's hard when you're nervous to like move at all. So I was impressed.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I agreed a little bit with the judges. I don't know. I mean, I was impressed by him, like, don't get me wrong, but for a Vegas show, I think he does need to loosen up a bit and really put on a show and not just sing really well, which he did.
That's fair.
Yeah.
What's the energy like when you first walk out there?
The energy, you can literally just feel the energy coming from the audience. Like, it's this crazy feeling, like, of just,
All eyes on you.
All eyes.
all eyes are on you.
And you said you even went on the last day of the audition, so even still then they
Yeah.
were still having
Yeah,
that same
even
kind of energy.
then, yeah.
That's crazy. So he made it through, Daniel.
Woohoo.
Very polite. He actually looked older than 17 to me.
He
We,
did.
we,
Yeah.
we were both surprised when we saw him. We were like, he's
Yeah.
only 17?
So was Simon.
Yeah. He,
Seemed
maybe,
like.
maybe it was because he was in like a full suit. It really
Yeah,
kind of
he
aged
dressed up. It was
himself.
cute.
But yeah, he was great. And then that brings us to someone called John Bernhardt. He was kind of like a quirky, he called himself a nerd, a little weird and offbeat, but did something really cool.
Yeah.
Science, man.
Yes, exactly. I wrote that he belongs, I was like, he's meant for Venice Beach or a kids museum, which is like, it felt like half a diss, you know, because he's like trying to have a Vegas show, and I'm like, you belong in a museum. But it got really, really cool.
Yeah, I think Mel actually X'd him and then retracted
Yes.
her X, because it was very odd in the beginning, but it got progressively cooler.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't crazy about it. I don't know. I just thought it was weird. I don't know.
I thought it was kind of interesting.
Yeah,
like,
it was more
just-
interesting
yeah.
than, like, entertaining. I don't know. Yeah.
I feel like I needed like a Bill Nye the Science Guy, now you
That'd
know,
be good.
or something, so I could get like a, how did he do that?
You know, like how EDM started, you know,
Yeah.
like making electronic sounds. I feel like this is the future of music.
Well,
I
Nick,
hope not.
it was interesting because Nick like waved his hands in front of it, and it did make some cool noises.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It reminded me a little bit of, I don't know if anyone follows Ariana Grande like I do. She wears these Mew Mew gloves, and when she sings, she can like hold a note, and when she moves her hand, she
Really?
can carry it. You can watch it on YouTube. It's very cool.
I had no idea.
It's really cool. They're these cool gloves, and when she sings a note, she can like with her hands like change the way it sounds. She does really cool things.
Sounds like cheating a little
I was
bit.
just gonna say
Yeah.
I
that.
could be a singer then.
it's kind of like live. She live mixes her music. Essentially, is what she's
That's
doing.
very cool.
It's really,
Okay,
so this
I'll
kind of
check that
reminded
out.
me of that in a
cool.
sense that he was doing Should I Stay or Should I Go, but he wasn't actually singing anything. So like what she does is I think she sings a note and then it picks it up and she can change it.
Interesting.
It's very
no
cool.
idea.
Cool YouTube stuff I watch, but
I loved how his joke about John like emoting and being really excited looking, because I think I told Madison partway through the performance, he was just like very, I mean, I get it, you have to focus, but it was a lot.
Right. Yeah, they were very. It was cool. It was, like I said with this show, you see stuff you would never see anywhere else, and like I've never seen anything like that before. So
That's for
there,
sure.
there you have it. Next up, we have Arielle and Derek, which are their group is called Silas Vita. This was one of the coolest things I've seen in a while. This is like a multimedia dance group where they brought in different elements of photography and you know projection and stuff to create this full experience. I thought it was amazing on TV, but we kind of talked a little bit about how we weren't sure how they were translating into person. They looked like they were floating to me. It looked really cool. I'm not 100% sure how they did it.
I think they were like, I wasn't positive because like it was weird because the camera angle would like go one way and then the other one would go the other way and they flash back and forth. So I wasn't sure like, oh, are they on the ground? Wait, no, they're standing up. Wait,
I thought they were on strings
Yeah.
at one point.
Yeah.
but I don't think they
That's
were.
what's amazing about it, is it
Yeah.
looks like they're like gracefully floating, and I feel like, I mean, dancing on the floor on your side is impressive enough.
Yeah.
Let alone what they're doing.
I think they were dancing on the floor because Howie said
Yeah.
something like, I need to stand up and like look.
Yeah, they were looking down. You could see their
Yeah.
eyesight going down. They do something like this on Whose Line Is It Anyway? I don't know if you ever...
Oh, yes.
So, like,
I
I
can
do a
remember.
skit like that. That's the only time I've ever seen this, which
Yes.
obviously does not really compare. This imagery was just beautiful.
It's also
really was.
reminiscent of Adele's Chasing Pavements, that music
Yeah.
video that
Oh,
came out a
yeah.
while ago, but obviously,
Yeah.
you know, bigger.
They amped
Yeah.
it up. Yeah.
It was really
Yeah.
cool. I think that this is definitely something that I would love to see again on TV. Not 100% sure how it would translate to a Vegas show.
Yeah.
I think that you'd want the nosebleeds, honestly, because you
Yeah,
want to be
you
able
gotta
to
look
look
down.
down on
Just
them.
have everyone up there. Nobody's looking in front.
But the judges seemed amazed and gave them a standing ovation, so I have to assume that it translated to in person as well as it did on TV.
It must have,
Yeah.
Yeah.
We talked a little bit though about how we'd love like a perspective camera from like Howie's seat or something to see what it
How
would look
they're
like.
seeing
Yeah.
it. It must be projected onto some other screen because you can't just look at them rolling on the floor and go, it looks so beautiful.
Was there a screen there like where the stage?
No, I didn't see any.
Interesting.
weird.
Yeah.
We're getting an inside scoop.
We
now.
are. We
All
have
of our
the scoop.
questions are answered. Yeah, so that was crazy. It looked like they were floating. At one point, I thought that it looked like they were magnets. You know,
Yeah, it was
The way they were
amazing.
moving, it was really cool. So not only are they extremely talented dancers, the guy who was the creative director who had the brains behind all of this
Yeah,
was
give him props,
crazy.
yeah.
The choreography
Yeah.
was very cool. So yeah, I'm excited to see what they do. A lot of times with acts like this, they do continue like the story. There was definitely some plot there, so I'm
It
excited.
was
to
Sleeping Beauty. It was
Yeah.
modern
Yeah.
Sleeping Beauty.
Yeah, so it'll be cool to see if they continue that or if maybe they do like a different Disney kind of,
That'd be
you know?
cool.
It'd be really cool. So
Yeah.
I'm excited to see more of them. They're another act similar to Sophie's, how I'm not super upset that they didn't get a golden buzzer because I want to see them again.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see what they bring in the judge cuts, which starts next week. Woohoo! Next, we're not sure when she's going. We're hoping she's next week.
I hope
I hope.
so. I don't want to wait any longer.
I know.
I don't know about you, but I want to.
I'm excited to see it.
Very excited. Next up is Moya Angela, who
Love
can
her.
sing.
Yes. Celine Dion. I mean, come on.
I was gonna say this kind of reminded me of last week when Brian covered Freddie Mercury. I get very nervous when people get up there and think that they can cover some of these people that I go like, don't
Legend.
touch Celine Dion, you know?
Yeah.
And this is my favorite song of hers. So the only person who's ever done a cover of this that I loved was Leah Michele and she did it in Glee,
see that.
and I love that version. But like Moya brought it, and Moya gave me what I want. So yeah, Megan, what'd you think?
Mel B said it best. She said, "You made Celine Dion your own," and that's just all there is. How could you possibly do that?
Yeah. It was amazing. What'd you think?
She was incredible, and she was so real and genuine, which you could tell when she started tearing up at the end. I just thought she was so powerful and incredible. I
Really
love
told
her.
a story.
Yeah.
It was very beautiful.
It was a really nice moment. Simon said something that like really we all gave a mic drop, but he goes, now that's what we call a singer.
That's like all the compliment you need.
I mean, from Simon,
standing
come on
ovation
now.
and
Yeah.
She got a standing ovation. She's a teacher. She teaches underprivileged kids, but like her passion is singing and
Meant for Broadway.
it sounded very Broadway.
It did, and she just was born to be on that stage. You know, there are some people that get up there and seem really nervous, and then there are some people that get up there just as one person and can fill the entire room, which I feel like is harder because a lot of people get up there in these big groups on America's Got Talent, and sometimes it's hard as one person to fill the stage, but it's best when you don't notice that it's just one person, you know?
Well said.
Like, I didn't even notice it was just her. Same with your act. Didn't even realize that it was just one person
You're
up there
just
on the
drawn in.
stage.
Yeah.
Because you're so consumed by everything that's happening that you don't even realize that it's just one person. Where, you know, with Acro Army is another good example. There's like literally 100 of them doing crazy million different things. So it's hard to compete with that, but she did. So she got 4 yeses and a standing ovation, which was a really special moment for her.
Yeah, well deserved.
Yeah, very, very deserving. Very excited to see what else she sings, who else she covers.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
it'll be fun. Next up, we have John and Owen, The Passing Zone, which I love them. Sophie
love that
loved
one.
this one because she
I
loves
love this
danger.
Perfect.
It was crazy. It was not just juggling. It was comedy.
Yes,
it was
it was very
magic,
funny.
kind of. It was really cool.
They were so personable, which added so much to it. They weren't just a danger act. They were the whole package. They threw the comedy in with the safety goggles, which was hilarious. And then
Yes.
throwing Howie up there, I was like, this is perfect.
If you think about it, their actual performance, like the actual juggling, was like a third of the time that they spent on stage.
Yeah.
The rest of it was kind of
they had a whole package up there.
I mean, it
Yeah.
was like anxiety-inducing before it even began, and that's a real
Yeah.
show. That was
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, I love the danger like involved with it, and I loved how he jumped over him and then grabbed the.
Ended it off.
Yeah, not just
insane.
jumping and continuing
I
the
wasn't
juggle.
expecting
Mind
that.
you,
I thought he dropped it for a second. I was like,
I
oh
did
my god.
too. Howie would not be happy. Mind you, he was juggling a taser, a mousetrap, and then fire. So
Insane.
the taser on.
Yes.
And Howie was laying on the floor on a yoga mat, and he was juggling it. His partner jumps over him, catches the juggle. What do you call those, batons? Catches the juggling
Weapons.
sticks.
Juggling sticks.
Weapons. Yeah.
flying weapons.
It was crazy. He got 3 yeses because they insisted that Howie join them again, so that Howie hits his ex.
I can't blame
As a
him.
joke.
Yeah,
I can't
really.
blame him. I'd be
I mean,
scared.
it was when they gave us the bird's eye view down onto what Howie's perspective was, I would have gotten up and ran away. When it comes to this kind of stuff, like, even when you pointed the bow and arrow at them, like, they don't know you. They don't know that you're good. That was before they saw you actually accomplish it. I think at this point they would trust you now. But Howie just put his life in these random people's hands.
Like, what if that's the one time it goes wrong? I was thinking about that. I was like, sometimes things go wrong. What if this was that one time? Hoping it wasn't, but
Well, like I said last year, Uzair, the ladder guy who had done it a million times, he fell. So, like, that stuff happens. And he got back up and did it again and ended up making it through. But, like, that happens,
Howie, I'm glad your face is okay.
Yeah. Same. I'm sure he's really happy about that, too.
Yeah, like, I wonder what goes into it, though. Like, do they have to sign something when they involve the judges? I don't know. I feel like there has to be a whole, like,
Maybe she knows.
That's interesting.
Howie's worth a lot of money.
His face.
I just point a boner at them.
Yeah, like, did you have to sign anything? I don't know.
Everyone's like,
It's like the money shot, like, right there.
When it comes to the danger acts, though, like, involving things like weapons and whatever, the elements, how do you have to, like, say, yo, by the way, I'm about to bring out some hardcore stuff?
In case I kill the judges?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they always have to make sure there's a safety on it.
There is. Okay, that's good to know.
Go, so.
interesting.
That's good to know. I was always
But there's no
wondering.
safety on Sophie. So, everyone's in danger.
Unleash the beast. Okay, next we had Steven, who I'm, like, kind of obsessed with.
Love him.
Kind of meaning immediately, that's my new boyfriend.
So he's a 20...
How many boyfriends do you have off the show now? Like 4?
Like a few. It's fine. I love all of my magicians and comedians. It's cool. At Brundage Magic, hit me up. At Dani Golub. So he
Matchmaking.
is a Rubik's Cube magician extraordinaire. So not
He's
only...
a magician.
Yeah.
Magician comedian.
Also,
I wrote that down.
Also magenius, if you will, because
Yes, I will.
being able to do a Rubik's Cube is pretty awesome to begin with. So he kind of, he has the Rubik's Cubes, he puts them in the bag, they come out all done in order, and then he impresses us all even more by matching the one that Simon had mixed up, which I can't even begin to understand how and where and what.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, he said he created that himself, too.
that trick? Oh, you met him, didn't you?
Yeah, I met him backstage.
What was he like? Was he...
Oh, he was super nice.
And you said he does other kinds of tricks, too. He does cards and all
Oh, yeah,
sorts
he
of
does
stuff.
all cards and...
Do you have his phone number?
Crazy stuff.
Anyway, Simon literally goes, there's no other explanation besides, like, he's a wizard.
You are a wizard.
Kind of like how he said you're from another planet. Like, he's a wizard. We're not even, like, because Mel or someone was like, how did he do it? And he's like, no, he's a wizard.
There is no how, it's magic.
That is it.
Yeah.
It is magic. Like,
Here's
you
It's
don't...
legit magic.
What's extra entertaining about this is that he almost lets you feel like you figured it out every step of the way and then disproves you. You know what I mean? He was like, but you guys think that I have another Rubik's Cube in here, but I don't. And then you're like, okay, but I see you holding the bottom of the bag. And then he crumbles it and he's like, oh, he's really not holding anything. He lets you go there.
But then he messes with you, and then he did have
I
one
love
of the
that part.
That's
Yes.
like where the comedy comes into play. He was amazing, and so I'm really excited. I think with close-up magic like that, it's really hard to kind of win over the judges and win over an audience on TV, because like with acts like yours or a lot of the different like really big acts, having something as small as a Rubik's Cube is sometimes hard to compete with something like that. Like, literally, it's a couple inches compared to, like, a giant bow and arrow.
And if he brings cards out next week, it'll be the same thing. It'll
Right.
be really small scale.
So, to be able to capture an audience and keep people, like, involved and excited with just such a, like, paper bags and a Rubik's Cube, you could go buy that stuff at the supermarket, you know? It's very cool. So, I was really impressed. He got 4 yeses, very deservingly. I'm excited.
4 yeses and a new girlfriend.
He can come on next week if he wants.
Invitation extended.
He was great. I'm excited to see what else he can do. I love magicians on the show. We hadn't seen a lot until like the last couple weeks. They've been, for some reason, showing us tons of singers, which maybe that's because American Idol ended and Simon's feeling like
back.
he needs to bring his singers to the stage. But I'm really excited that we got to see some magic this week. When I saw him come out with the Rubik's Cubes, I thought it was going to be like a Rubik's Cube talent, you know, people that are able to do them super fast and all that kind of stuff, which I think he probably can and does do. But on top of that, he's more magician than he is Rubik's Cuber.
He really is the trifecta that I didn't even know should exist.
A triple threat: a magician, Rubik's Cuber, and comedian. The new triple threat, America. Okay. Yeah, so that was fun. Next up, we have the Zeeman Duo. They kind of scared me. I don't really like when people are whipped around by their neck, and that happened. So he was on rollerblades, and so was she.
On a small platform.
On, like, something like the size of our table we have here.
Yeah.
Like, spinning around.
Like, the table.
Try it.
Yeah, if it was full.
Like,
yeah.
It's
double.
like this table and double.
Yes.
Yeah, it's crazy. So they were just like totally whipping her around. It was like dancing. It was to music. It was kind of wild. So that was crazy. They got 4 yeses. That's one of those ones where like I kind of have to look away. So
Yeah. So I wouldn't pay to see it.
Yeah.
If I can't watch.
Yeah, that is true. And then we see a stand-up comedian called Adam who made really funny jokes about Disney movies.
We want more. We want more.
want more.
Adam.
They cut him off
Did you
too
meet? Yeah,
soon,
you guys
I thought.
met
I
them,
met
didn't
Adam
you?
too, yeah.
Yeah, I'm always bummed when I see a really good act and we only get to see a little like snack-sized version of it
Yeah.
compared to like.
I kind of wanted to see the whole thing.
I know.
Yeah.
Sometimes I wish they would just like put those online or something because now I'd love to watch this whole 90-second piece when we only got to see we got to see probably 15,
It was
20
like
seconds.
one joke. And
Yeah. Which it was great. It was really funny.
But it just made me want more from him.
Yeah, and Howie said he was funny, which is a big deal. You know,
Yeah.
I think coming from someone like a comedian, it's a big deal to get that kind of validation. So I think, I hope he goes far, and I hope we get to hear more from him. I love the comedians, and it's a good stage for them, you know, because like we said with singers, there's so many other places they can go that, I know there's Last Comic Standing, but like, of competition shows, this is a cool place for comedians to come and get to show what they do.
Simon actually even said he's the funniest.
Yeah, he did.
No way.
Yeah.
He
I
did.
missed that. Okay, cool.
It was like at the very end, you can barely hear it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Huh.
Sometimes they're so quick onto the next act that you can barely hear everything that they say. But yeah, Simon said that he was great. I also, you said that they even cut out some of the compliments that they say. Like, I'm sure in this one with Adam, because his was so short, but you said they even cut out a lot of the stuff that Simon was saying about you.
Yeah, they cut out a few of what Simon said.
So that's a bummer. He said that she had great outfits and all of that stuff, music, which I agree.
It's important.
Yeah, you know, it's the full package.
Exactly.
Like the costume, the everything, like the hair. People don't realize how much that goes into it, and it's all, you do it all yourself too, which is crazy for a show like this. It's not just like, you don't get like some makeup artist to come on over and help you out. No, it's like you're backstage with your parents and your hair ties trying to make this thing happen.
And then you go out there and like amaze everyone.
Yeah, and I'd be
perfect.
like, my makeup would be like sweating all over my face. It's crazy.
I have a quick question. When Adam was showing up on the screen, you and your mom, there was like a lot of recognition. Any backstory, or just like, we met him, he was a nice guy?
No, it's more like, we met this guy, and he's on stage
There he
again.
is. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah,
he was cool.
He seemed very fun. The next one didn't joke about Disney, but I think is going to have her own Disney show. You also met her. Her name is Skylar.
She was
by
the
Sky.
coolest.
Oh,
Kind
yes,
of like the most badass, cool 11-year-old I've ever seen in my entire life. She raps and like has such stage presence and attitude and sass for like what is 11? 5th grade? 11's 5th or 6th grade.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Something too young to be that
Young.
good at something. Shoot. I did
It's
my
like
life all
5th, 6th
wrong.
grade, yeah.
5th or 6th grade. She was amazing. I think that if she doesn't get picked up by like Nickelodeon or Disney Channel to have her own show, someone is not doing their job.
I love that she went up to all the judges and like got in their face. I was like, oh, she's in Simon's face. Oh.
It was amazing.
Yeah,
She
I
was,
loved her personality.
You met her. Was she the same in person as she was on TV?
Oh, yeah.
And more, probably.
Yeah.
She's another one that we only got to see a little bit of
Yeah.
that I wish I would have gotten to see more. But she was
Yeah.
amazing.
Like, it wasn't an act.
No, it wasn't an act.
Interesting.
That's
her
like
real personality.
Real personality,
Good for
yeah.
her.
Wow. Those are those people that like have the it factor. You're like, where did those people grow on trees? She is one of them. Like, she has
You
it.
have your own planet, according to Simon. She has her own tree.
Yeah. She's amazing. And then we have some wizards.
Yes.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Good combination.
That's what I mean. This America's Got Talent. Like, I say it every week, and I
You
will
do.
say it again. These people that get on this show, like, they have nowhere else to go to show how amazing their talent is. Like, you can go be an extra on Disney Channel. You
Or
can
go to Venice Beach.
You can go to Venice Beach. But to have your moment and to show the world, like, what you can do and how good you are at it.
On a national stage.
Yeah.
Where
reach
else?
the scope,
Where else
yeah.
can you go in front of 11.2 million people
Yeah.
on a random Tuesday night? You can't. Just saying.
You can't.
So American Got Talent, thank you. It's my favorite show ever. So very cool. Next up we have RL. He's a massage therapist / singer. What?
Okay, here's the comparison I made for him. He's like a singing, masseusing The Rock.
He massages you
Right?
with his voice.
There you go. That's his new headline. But really, I mean, his range was incredible. I'm glad that he took his glasses off because for me as the singing panelist, what's my new name?
You're a
consultant.
Singing consultant.
Like, I need to see your eyes to connect with you. So when they were on, I wasn't feeling much, but then he took them off. And also, the hair. I would love to see his natural hair because it's pretty distracting. I'm like,
is it a wig?
No, he straightens it.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, the judges were talking about that. But he was a very
Must miss that.
good singer, I thought.
He looked really familiar, and I couldn't figure out why. And I'm pretty sure I was at that taping, which does. I mean, I'm not very smart, so I like couldn't put that together. But
They were in the right
apparently-
outfits.
Yeah, the judges were wearing the same thing, so I think I saw him, and I loved the song choice. That like did it for me. That song, so, and he was good. I don't know. He had good stage presence, if I remember correctly. So
Yeah, he brought this like I'm gonna be a taking it off hot
Yes.
guy mixed with I'm gonna be a good singer. But I almost was like, I was watching Simon. I think it's really interesting to watch Simon and his process when it comes to singers. We talked about this a little bit. When he's listening to a singer and is listening if they're good, he will like turn his head away, close his eyes, like plug one of his ears and listen with this
Like
one.
testing for something.
It's interesting because this is what he does for a living. So I found it really interesting to watch him. I kind of did what Simon did and looked away and stopped being distracted by the whole like showmanship of it. But he, just listening to his voice, he's very talented. You know what I mean?
Got range, for sure.
when I was in the audience, actually going off of that, I was kind of to the left of Simon, so he was on the far left, and you would just see him kind of like staring off, and you're like, is he looking at me? Like, I don't. It was weird, but he does. It's very noticeable. He definitely did that a lot.
Yeah, he has some sort of like creative process. I feel like when it comes to
all
finding
wheels
these,
turning,
when
yeah.
it comes to finding these stars, like that's what he does. You know, and I feel like if he likes you and he finds you and he likes you, like
He won't look at you.
but like you're set. You know what I mean? If someone like Simon Cowell is like, you have it, then you have it. Like you can, like that's kind of like a objective opinion in terms of talent. If Simon thinks you have talent, because he's like I said with a lot of these acts this year, he hasn't been like mean Simon. He's been honest Simon, and I pretty much agree with everything he says.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when there's an act that maybe isn't as strong, like he'll say it, but like it's not in a mean, harmful, like rude way.
Just factual.
It's just it's objective, as
Yeah.
I don't know. I agree with a lot of what he says. And then our final act of the night, which we will talk about, was our final golden buzzer this season, which was a little more unexpected, even though they kind of ruined it for me in the promos. But Nick gave a golden buzzer this year, which I think is a fun twist because they haven't done that in the past. Her name was Dorothy Williams. And she is 90 years old, y'all. She was born in 1926 in Illinois, and she's a dancer. I mean, this woman's like, she can die a happy woman. Like, you know what I mean? Her life is made. She's wanted to be a star since she was 17 years old. She's never made it. She's wanted to be a star longer than everyone who's watching has been alive. Our millennial audience here. You know what I just feel like it's crazy that Nick was able to kind of like fulfill this dream for her.
Because we're going to see clips of her performance on Facebook tomorrow.
Viral. Probably already now. What did you think about her? I mean, I originally wrote down, like, did I miss something? Like, but then I got it. It took me a minute. I didn't get it, but then I got it. And then I got the chills. Like, I think I didn't understand, like, what he was doing, I think Nick was like giving her moment and making her this star. Like the fact that she's 90 years old and even got up there and moved her body and danced. Her body was an amazing Oh my God. I'm actually not kidding. Not all 90-year-olds are like feeble.
The fact that she got up there and moved at all is amazing.
She was amazing.
I know.
I mean,
it's true.
what she did was
great.
funny and entertaining, and it made people smile. Like you said, just making people smile and laugh and like feel good and happy. Like,
and apparently the tassels move even better backstage.
Yes.
She just over-rehearsed.
She over-practiced. I mean, what a character. Like, women like her, just keep them coming. I love her. She's great.
I plan to grow up to be Dorothy Williams.
Yeah, she's amazing. Like, when I grow up, I want to be her. She's amazing. I think that it was really funny when Nick goes, "You're going straight to the live shows," and she goes, "I hope I live that long." Oh my God. It's like, what is it, July? Like, so
Don't have much time.
that was really funny. But what did you think about her act in general and the whole moment?
I mean, she looked amazing for her age, obviously, and I'm good for her for getting out there and doing that. Obviously, I mean, I didn't really, I don't know, like you said, I was kind of just like, what? But I'm so glad that this happened for her. But at the same time, just kind of, kind of anticlimactic, I thought, for the golden buzzer, for the last one of the whole. I was kind of disappointed, but love her.
Ditto.
Thank you.
Yeah. I I mean, I agree. I think, like I always say, when it comes to talent, how do you compare something like that to something like this?
Yeah.
You know, I'm not trying to be rude, and I really do respect Dorothy, and
good for her.
And I like what Nick did. I think it was a nice show, but like, look at this photo. Come on, like, that is not something that
Can you do that, Dorothy? No.
Let me say this: if I can do it, it doesn't deserve a golden buzz.
Dani, I think you're talented.
But like, I could do what I'm not gonna do it by any means, but I could do what Dorothy did.
Get some tassels on.
I will not be performing that act
Right now. Let's go.
But I could. Could I do what Sophie does? Absolutely not. So
Fair enough.
I just think it's apples and oranges, you know.
Yeah.
But what we usually do now is we go through our favorite and least favorite of the night that made it through. So I think I'm gonna start with my favorite of the night. I forget how to pronounce their name, but it is Silas Veta, the multimedia dance group. I thought that they were amazing. I can't wait to see what else they bring. You can look through if you need to remember who everybody was, but they were amazing. I'm excited. They kind of reminded me, like, I've talked about him in the past, but Kenichi Ibina, who won a couple seasons ago, he did a lot of crazy cool dancing with, you know, different multimedia stuff, and so I'm excited to see what they bring to the table. And then my least favorite that made it through, I think, was unfortunately Daniel, the 17-year-old singer. It didn't really do it for me. We've seen so many good singers this season. Like, I just can't really compare him to what we've already seen. And this isn't a singing show. I always say, like, would he get chair turns on The Voice? I don't think so. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's kind of my top and bottom. What about you guys?
My favorite would have to be Moya Angela. I thought she was just incredible and so real, and her voice so powerful. And it started a little slow, but it got so great at the end, and I love her. But my least favorite would have to be John Bernhardt. Sorry, I just didn't get it. Maybe it's because I don't like science. I don't know.
Weird noise, man.
Yeah, I just wasn't feeling it.
Fair.
Fair. That is fair. I was gonna say my least favorite was John, but I decided it was Cody. I feel like you met him and you guys were saying good things about him, so I feel bad. He's a nice boy. But I wasn't quite as entertained as I was with John. And then my very most favorite, which is a little surprising because I'm predisposed to, like, the singers, like, regardless, Owen and John. I was just so entertained. The jugglers, the, like, danger jugglers from the moment they started.
It was really cool.
Yeah.
Do you have any favorites?
Yeah.
You don't have to say least favorite if you don't want to, because I know you're on the show and these are probably all your friends. How about a favorite?
I loved Owen and John, the
and John.
jugglers. Yeah,
Yeah,
I love the danger.
We like danger. I'm not even kidding. If we got Owen and John, you, Cody, we can have a really cool show.
For real.
Like, I would pay, like, lots of money to go see that. For anyone, you know, let's, like, get all America's Got Talent people together. We were saying that, I think, last week. Like, America's Got Talent should take everyone and make a variety show in Vegas that you can go see.
I would watch that.
Because, like,
That'd be really cool.
even your act, like, I want to see that in person. Like, I want to see it. It's so cool. But yeah, that's kind of all we have for this week. We're gonna make sure to tune in tomorrow night to the special to hopefully catch some of Sophie.
I hope so.
We're crossing our fingers that she's on next week. If not, it'll be the week after probably. But make sure to tune in and check her out. And where can they find you on social media, because it's blowing up, kids?
At Sofie Dossi, but Sophie with an F.
Sofie.
Sofie.
It's important.
And what about y'all?
Oh, you can find me on Twitter at Madison Cramer TV.
Twitter and Facebook at Megan Boykoff.
And I'm Dani Golub. You can find me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram at Dani Golub. It's been really fun.
Thanks
Thank
for
you,
coming, Sophie.
Sophie, for coming.
So much.
We've had so much fun. We will see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.